Welcome back to Last Stop Sports Talk Podcast. We are back after a long hiatus of the busy football season. I guess so. So this is episode 102 today. This is January 6th of the new year. Happy New Year 2026. And today we got a 2026 NFL playoff preview. Basically, we're talking about how far we think each team can go. We're talking about it in a very special and Last Stop Sports Talk way with our comparisons that we'll get into coming up. I got Keen Krupp, Carson Krupp. I'm, of course, Cody Krupp, if y'all forgot. And, so like I said, we're back right into playoffs, and we're going to get this playoff one out and maybe some others. And then, of course, our Draft Brothers content, our the cream of the crop that we do.
Nice.
The
staple of
the staple of this program.
Yeah, where you guys find most of our content on TikTok and everything. Most of that stuff is draft content, and you guys comment a lot, and we appreciate it. Keep it coming because we're gonna keep bringing more and more content because we love doing draft stuff. Especially, it's just NFL season's very busy, and once we missed 1 week, then the weeks kept piling up. But we had to come back for playoffs because we got a lot of shit to say that's on our chest. And got
to get ahead of playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Big weeks coming up.
Oh yeah, but draft stuff. We got scouting reports, positional rankings, big boards, my guys, mock drafts.
What?
Yes, you guys are going to want to stick with us from now until April. We got a lot of content coming your way about young guys. Whoa. All of age playing football. That's it.
And all leading up to the draft in the Berg this year.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're not a big enough show to be live here. Maybe one day, but we'll be there for sure.
Yep. All right, let's get right into it. So we're doing the NFL playoffs road trip this year. So we're gonna be comparing teams to I won't say cars, but vehicles. Is it safe to say all of our comparisons have wheels/tires of some sort?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, actually, so they can be classified as vehicular comparisons here.
Yes.
So yeah, like I said, NFL playoff 2026 road trip. Mm-hmm. How far can these teams go and where? So we're going to be talking about some stats for each team starting off here, so I'll explain that real quick. So what we're going to be talking about is passing offense, rushing offense, pass defense, and run defense. So the pass offense, how these stats are accumulated. It's the net yards gained per pass attempt, which is, if you can think of fractions right here, you got pass yards, okay, minus sack yards, divided by.
Nice. Good illustration.
You got pass attempts.
Yeah.
Plus times sacked.
Yeah.
So all that together is how we'll be talking about pass offense. Rush offense, yards per carry, YPC, you know the deal. Pass defense is net yards gained per pass attempt allowed. And then run defense is yards per carry allowed. Pretty simple there too. So we're going to start off with the AFC, starting off with your 1 seed, the Denver Broncos out there in Mile High. They finished the regular season 14-3. Points scored, they were 14th. Passing offense, they were 17th. Rush offense, 13th. Points allowed, they were 4th. Pass defense, number 1. Run defense, number 2. Pretty damn good defense, as we all know. So let's dive right in and do our comparisons.
I'll get us started here. So I have the Denver Broncos as a 2011 Honda CR-V.
Ah, yes.
Now, as Cody told you, this team relied on their reliable defense all season with just their middling offense just barely hanging on. This Broncos team, I think, is the Chiefs of this season, seemingly getting lucky in many of these tight one-score games. One-score games, they were 11-2 this season, much like the Chiefs last. And that's how they're going to have to win this road trip, too. So a CR-V is not going to be anybody in a straight drag race. They're going to have to find a difficult route that beats the snot out of every other car because the CR-V can handle it. So this defense is going to have to generate some turnovers, and they're going to show that their old 2011 Honda CR-V all-wheel drive will never die. But this offense can be a little bit explosive, which is why I chose a 2011 model, which has the VTEC.
Oh, shoot.
Now, driven by a wheelman like Sean Payton, this offense can generate some points. But if the opposing team can sneak under the hood and unplug that VTEC, then they might be limping all the way home.
That's going to hurt. I gave them a little bit more love on that sportiness aspect, but I love that comparison because my original thought was these guys are like a Honda Civic. But I'm like, they're too good. They find ways to win. They can be explosive if they want to, and I'm a Bo Nix fan myself, so maybe my mind is skewed. But I gave them the classic Cadillac CTS-V. So not the newest ones, but you're talking Cadillac comfort, quality, reliability on that defense with that added sportiness. Like, for example, you can get a Cadillac CTS-V wagon stick shift, brother. Like, that is fun, that's exciting, and that is reliable. So I gave them similar thought, just a touch more sportiness because I'm probably a little bit more of a Broncos fan. But you just know that they're going to find a way to win. That's what they've done all year. Carson talked about it.
I went with something a little bit less fuel efficient.
Oh, yes.
Mine are very creative and out of left field, as you'll see for this show. By the way, stick around for our draft content. Our comps, Carson's got the realistic comps. I got the ones that just make you think and scratch your head quite a bit, but it makes sense.
They're good.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're great.
But anyways, I went with a military tank.
Okay, I love it.
Because we're talking slow-moving, armored. They have an amazing offensive line this season. Weaponry to fire at enemies. That would be their defense, just firing at them. Conservative offense most of the time is what we saw. Great offensive line, explosive defense. Watching every game this year, the Broncos do not feel deserving of the number 1 seed, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because Carson just laid it out. One score games, 11-2. That can get kind of lucky sometimes. The ranks honestly truly show how the offense has felt. Dink and dunk, no consistency, explosiveness. There's no skill player that's going to take over a game. Cortland Sutton had a pretty good year. He went over 1,000 yards, but I don't feel like he's no Jamar Chase or anything like that. And then again, defense amazing on every level. Basically, it seems like that's been their winning key. Basically, quote, not a real quote, but keep us close so our offense can keep up and make a comeback after sucking for 3 quarters. And that's basically how it felt. Nick Benito now is deservedly a household name that every commentator talks about. He's been amazing this year. Jonathan Cooper across from him on the other side. They're both so fast off the edge. Like, even though they might lack some power and strength, the speed and bend that these guys have it's been amazing watching them sack the quarterback. Zach Allen continues to do Zach Allen things. And even on this front, John Franklin Myers, JFM himself, sorry. He had 7.5 sacks this year. That's pretty insane. The team led the NFL in sack percentage at 9.74%. It wasn't even close. Obviously, Pat Surtain, he wasn't playing at a DPOY level this year, but he is scaring quarterbacks away from throwing at him. So the Riley Moss is getting targeted all the time, obviously. White cornerback. Hell yeah, brother. Yep. But he actually led the NFL in pass deflections this year with 19. And then the missile, I believe, of this defense, the real missile, the thing that's shooting out of the barrel of this tank is Talanoa Hufanga.
Polamalu reincarnated.
Yes, he just comes in to this Broncos team and it immediately is just a tackling missile, a big help in run defense, and then they have some of the best tackling linebackers in the league, I believe, in Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw, who should be back for the playoffs. Again, this team is slow moving at times on offense, but their defense is going to keep them in the fight most times, is what I've kind of seen from the Broncos this year.
I love it. Let's move to your 2 seed, the New England Patriots. They're back again. They are 14-3 to finish off the regular season. Points scored this year, they were 5th. Passing offense, 1st. Rushing offense, they were 20th. Points allowed, 5th. Pass defense, 14th. And run defense, 16th. So kind of all over the board there.
Let me take this one.
Go for it.
I actually have a realistic one. I went with a 2025 Ford Bronco.
Okay.
Now, I got some reasons here. And it gets kind of wild at the end. But the Ford did not make the Bronco for many years. They stopped. And then they remade them. I don't know what year they started making the Bronco again. You're the car guy.
What year they start making it?
Yeah. Like for this second generation.
23?
Yeah, okay. So it's been like 2 years.
Sure, it's been a few years.
They're back though, and they're pretty legit and fun. Obviously, they're not the old manly Bronco.
Nope, not even close.
I'm not talking about Bronco sports now. I'm talking
we're talking Bronco.
Right. But this is just like the Patriots franchise. They took a few years off, and just like Mike Vrabel as well. Took a few years off. Now they're back, and they seem pretty legit. After the Titans fired Vrabel, he wanted to go coach somewhere where he could be head coach and play a big role in the GM responsibilities of team building like Belichick. And when the Patriots hired Vrabel as head coach in the offseason, he just took off and started building this team the way that he wanted. Listen to these signings. I forgot that they had so many, but these guys all played a huge part in the instant success of this team this year. They signed Stephon Diggs, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, Milton Williams, Kyrus Tonga, Mac Hollins, Jalen Hawkins, Caleb Chason, Garrett Bradbury, and then they drafted, to name a few, Will Campbell, Trayvon Henderson, Kyle Williams, Jared Wilson. Every single one of these guys has played a major part in the success, and most of these guys are new to the team. So under Vrabel, these guys came together, immediately bought in, immediately meshed, and just played great football right off the bat. And much like the Bronco, this team is tough because it's the intensity and mindset that Vrabel brings to the team, the toughness, the be stronger than those other guys. Also, these newer Broncos have much better gas mileage.
Sure.
Offensive
That's
efficiency.
definitely
We're talking
true.
about the Patriots. And then while still maintaining some off-road capability, which is like Drake May's off-schedule improvising skills, I think the Patriots are going to be one of the toughest outs in the AFC this year. I really believe in them, and that's scary because it's a very fresh team, a lot of new guys. You don't know what's going to happen whenever the lights get the brightest. One last Ford Bronco tie-in. Criminal charges were brought against two Patriots players last week. On Tuesday, wide receiver Stephon Diggs was charged with felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery stemming from an alleged December 2nd incident involving the wide receiver's personal chef. Why are you choking your chef? Anyways, on Wednesday, court records showed that defensive tackle Christian Barmore faces a domestic assault charge after an alleged incident involving the defensive tackle's then-girlfriend on August 8th. And while these two players are not nearly the level of criminal that once alleged murderer O.J. Simpson was.
Sure.
O.J. Simpson was in a white 1993 Ford Bronco in that infamous police chase in 1994.
Yep.
Boom.
There he was.
Bronco.
Well done. Well done.
I like mine as well. I think it's not quite as well, I think that I fell into this trap. This might not be a very well-known car, but I fell into this trap a couple years ago myself, and I don't want all of NFL fans to as well. So I think the Patriots are a 2026 Subaru BRZ.
26
Now, this
model.
is a sporty-looking modern car that looks amazing on the outside, but once you take a look under the hood, just like the Patriots, doesn't have the horsepower to back it up. 2.4-liter four-cylinder that only makes 228 horsepower. But on the outside, it looks like it could compete with the top-of-the-line sports cars. The Patriots are similar, 14-3, but when you take a look under the hood, all season long, they only played 3 games against teams above 500. 3 games! And in those 3 games, they went 1-2.
They have more current criminal charges active than they have wins against teams over 500.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think that they basically beat up on bad teams all year and looked amazing like the Subaru BRZ. But when they get lined up against real sports cars, I think that's when they're really going to show what is or actually isn't under the hood. Now, it does have the chance to complete the road trip with the well-known reliability of the Patriots dynasty and the Subaru reliability likewise. But similar to this Patriots team, the BRZ is a fairly new model, starting in about like 2012. And it still needs to prove itself to the Subaru name. Now, the Patriots team and the BRZ are still a fun car. They're a young team that's explosive, young quarterback Drake May, all that stuff. The car is rear-wheel drive, 6-speed manual option with it. But they need to prove that they can compete with a real sports car. And based on their regular season performance, I don't know that they have enough horsepower to do that.
I'm going to go a slightly different direction yet again here. I compared the Patriots here. We know the Patriots, legendary franchise. All us Steeler fans hate them and probably always will. But that's why I had to compare them kind of similar to Kean's with the Bronco references. But
O.J. Simpson tie-in?
I'm not that good, but that was good. I went with a 1960s. I didn't choose a specific vehicle because this could be any, but 1960s muscle car resto mod. So we're talking like old Camaro, Dodge Charger, Ford Mustang, Challenger, something like that. The looks and makings of an old classic car, the legendary franchise, but refreshed with a bunch of new pieces and modern equipment, such as Drake May, Mike Vrabel, all those guys that you just mentioned them bringing in. So you're taking that classic, strong, tough built Patriots franchise and you're just adding all these new pieces, making it explosive and fun and efficient and but it still is that classic, tough, hard-nosed Patriots football team that you all know and love or hate, depending on who you're fans of. So that's why I went that direction. I think it's this team with Mike Vrabel at the helm, they kind of were able to bring that culture back into it, but with using these new players.
Well done, boys. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
So I think with that, they got a chance to go the distance. I think you're right. They're going to be one of the toughest outs of the AFC. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finished the season 13-4 in this kind of breakout season this year. Points scored, they were 8th in the league. Passing offense, they were 15th. Rushing offense, pretty non-existent. They were 27th. Points allowed, 9th. Pass defense, they were 10th. And run defense, they were 5th.
Cody, go ahead and start.
I will. So Jaguars this year, we all know they've had Trevor Lawrence for years now. The wonder kid, the prince who was promised, what everyone hoped to be, and haven't been able to get it going. Bring in Liam Cohen this year. So with then all this happening, all this stuff, and promised this and promised that, and disappointment. This, I couldn't pick a specific vehicle, but hopefully I can get all of you to understand, but you car guys will get it. This is your typical project car. Okay? You've been fighting with it for years. You're buying parts. You're throwing parts at it. You get really excited. Man, these parts are sweet. I got all this new shiny stuff on here. It looks nice. And then you just keep fighting with it. It doesn't work, and this and that, and you get really excited, and then something else goes wrong. You just have all this high expectation, but you've just been let down over and over and over. And, man, you get it so close to running, okay? Sweet. That's awesome. Doesn't run great.
Timing's off.
Yeah, timing's off or something. So I'm going to get a little more technical here. You finally break down. You spend the big bucks. You buy a Holley Terminator computer ECU to run this whole engine in your old car. Okay, this is top cream of the crop, top shelf equipment here. And wouldn't you know it, boy, is it good. It is really, really good. It finally works. That is Liam Cohen coming in, if you guys don't get that. He's the computer. He's the head here. He ties it all together. Everything's just working, clicking, bam, 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 and then boom, you're done. You got a really cool, fast, expensive car, but it works, and you aren't being let down anymore, and you're in the playoffs.
Nice.
Yeah, well done. That was good.
Very good.
That was very good.
Very good. I took a similar route, but I don't need a project car to not have reliability. So
Sure.
For too long now, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags have been a Jeep Grand Cherokee base model. But with the addition of Liam Cohen and this defense now stepping up, the defense now ranked 3rd in turnover differential at plus 13. This team finally got an upgrade to where they are now a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. So they got a little more power. Looking from the outside in, this Jeep is still just the Jaguars in a base model. But teams need to be weary as this team now can be explosive with a 6.2-liter V8 making over 700 horsepower.
Woo!
Now be aware that they still have that Jeep unreliability that is able to ruin this road trip at any moment.
Sure, still
but
Mopar.
Given the proper maintenance, proper game plan, I feel they can compete with anyone, even the sports cars, even though they look like a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, they were 4-3 against teams above 500 this year, but it's really hard to know what you're going to get when that car rolls off the lot.
Sure.
It is a Jeep. And they beat the Chargers by 29, Broncos by 14, but then they also turned around and lost to the Rams by 28. And that's a Jeep that finally got a big motor.
Yeah, you're right. Well done.
I'm going to take us off the rails a little bit.
Okay.
Is it a train?
No. Actually, not a train. Not yet.
That's been happening around here, yeah.
Not yet. But if you guys ever watched Cars 3, pretty good. Not as good as the first Cars.
Sure.
But Jackson
Definitely.
Storm. This is Jackson Storm. I didn't even... Jacksonville. Jackson Storm. But he's
Jackson Doville.
Yes. But he's the futuristic modern NASCAR who rose to stardom in Cars 3. Just out of nowhere. He was winning race after race after race. And then at the end, spoiler alert, but you should see the movie by now. It's been out for a while. Then Lightning McQueen ends up beating him at the end of the movie just like old times. Is it wrong, this is a question, to feel like eventually a Jaguar-style crash out is coming? Like, is that unfair to Liam Cohen?
Not at all. I mean, they are a Jeep.
Absolutely, they are a Jeep. This is a project car that you put together yourself with no supervision. Anything could happen.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that Liam Cohen kind of knows what he's doing, though. It's taken all year, but I'm kind of cautiously optimistic, kind of buying into this and trusting what the Jags are doing now. The Trevor Lawrence breakout seems real, but it also seems scary.
It's volatile.
Yes. I've come to realize that Trevor Lawrence is very similar to Baker Mayfield. Confidence to sling it anywhere, even if it's a risky passing lane that should never even be attempted or thrown into, which can lead to interceptions. But I'm feeling better about Trevor Lawrence now, almost solely because of Liam Cohen. Mm-hmm. When we see that how Baker struggled this year without Cohen, and Lawrence struggled up till this season without Cohen too. Baker thrived with Cohen. Now Lawrence is thriving with Cohen. I'm thinking that this is just Cohen. So
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that Trevor Lawrence is going to be fine, and it's not going to be a big problem in the playoffs. We'll see. We've never seen Trevor Lawrence in the play. Well, we have, and they lost. They beat the Chargers. I can't remember. It was years ago. A lot happens in the NFL. The weapons, though, they seem legit. Brian Thomas Jr., even in a down year, he doesn't have to be relied upon as the wide receiver one. That seems to be a good thing. Jacoby Myers is Lawrence's safety blanket who will always get open. And then we had ourselves a Parker Washington breakout.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, we did.
It was so due.
Oh, yeah. He was my guy for me back in the 2023 draft, a Penn State guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then even Travis Etienne has reignited his career to rush for 1,100 yards. And maybe most surprisingly, the Jaguars have 8 defensive players who have earned a PFF overall defensive grade above 70, which is great. Wow. The team actually nutted up this season and beat the 49ers, Texans, Chargers, Broncos, ended the regular season on an 8-game win streak. So everything honestly looks fantastic heading into the playoffs. But is Lightning McQueen coming? Is Lightning McQueen on his way to whoop their ass? The guys who are more experienced, the teams who are more experienced, and just the abysmal history of the Jaguars, is it just going to crush them in the biggest moments? That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen is coming, and he's coming. Oh, go to the next team.
That's good foreshadowing. Hold that thought. That's funny you say that. Pittsburgh Steelers, your number 4 seed, kings of the AFC North after one of the wildest games of the season. They finished the season 10-7. Points scored 15th. Passing offense, they were 23rd. Rushing offense 15th. Points allowed 16th. Pass defense 16th. Run defense 13th. King of the North, King of the Mid.
Yeah, let me take this one.
Okay, all right. Well,
I got a good one here, and I'm excited.
All right, I do too.
And before you guys get into your Steelers love, because you guys are
mine's
Steelers
short,
fans.
But
okay.
Mine's also shorter.
This is a completely bone stock 2008 Honda CR-V with a manual transmission. Reliable.
Oh.
You know what you're gonna get. As regular as mail service, which these have been used for. Nothing is flashy, not super efficient, not fast, but also still stronger and able to take more of a beating than a Toyota Corolla or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
How conservative and rough has the Steelers' offense been this year? Well, this stat says most of it. Last in the NFL in average depth of target, ADOT, at 6.31 yards, and that is down. That is below 31st. It is another 0.2 below, which is crazy whenever we're talking about averages and how many passes are thrown every single year. That is really bad. But this conservative, boring Steelers offense is nothing new. It's Arthur Smith's and Mike Tomlin's, honestly, dream offense. They love it.
They do love it.
Lure the defense up by running the ball and completing short passes just constantly. Then a few times every game, run play action and chuck it deep to DK Metcalf or Calvin Austin, and he'll probably drop it.
He just won the game.
He bobbled that ball, and he was wide open. I was scared. Or up the seam to one of the tight ends like Freiermuth. Has it worked? Enough to win them the division and make it to the playoffs, I guess. Defense has improved throughout the course of this year, but it's still not as dominant and as it has been the past 2 or 3 years. There are still players that are playing out of their mind. Cam Hayward, age 36, is playing absolutely lights out. He actually leads the team in pressures. TJ Watt did miss 3 games, but still, this is impressive for a 36-year-old. 90.4 overall defensive grade, number 1 D tackle in the NFL according to PFF this year. Jalen Ramsey has been a breath of fresh air as a speedy, strong chess piece that can be moved anywhere in the defense. Kyle Duggar came in, immediately started, and has made a difference without Deshaun Elliott there. The edge rushers are always doing their thing, obviously. But I have watched more Joey Porter Jr. closely this year, and I've got to say that I kind of owe him an apology poem. I want to start doing this on the show now.
Oh,
An apology poem. Here we go. JPJ, I'm kind of sorry for not seeing your true strength. When you're up in press, you do impress because you can really use your length. But please don't play off zone. Your quickness is gone. And receivers gap you many car lengths.
No.
I've been impressed with JPJ's press coverage this season. He actually has the length and the strength to jam some guys and stick with them. But whenever he's in off zone, he is still so terrible. The guy has no recovery speed at all.
Can I request a haiku for the next one? I'm more of a haiku guy.
Sorry, what is that?
575
syllables?
Please.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I got one more coming in this episode.
Okay.
So
hopefully it's a haiku.
It's not a haiku. It's not a haiku.
I like the poem.
It's pretty,
It's pretty
apology. We need to start doing this. You deserve to give one to Drake May.
I do.
You do.
You need to write up an apology poem. I feel better now.
Right.
It's off your chest.
Also, shout out to James Pierre. He had to start quite a few games this season for the Steelers due to Darius Slay injuries, and then he retired because I don't know.
Yeah.
He's currently ranked as the number 2 cornerback this season according to PFF. He's been really good. Yeah, he's been lights out. But yeah, I feel like I know what I'm going to get with the Steelers in the playoffs. Unless they really prove me different, their mediocrity is as regular as mail service delivered by a 2008 Honda CRV.
It's regular.
That's right. Yeah,
That's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go next. So mine's a little nicer because moments before I wrote this, I just watched their Renegade highlight reel and all that stuff, and I was all kinds of fired up. Because what happened was I was looking for a Here We Go, song for 2026. For some reason, nobody's made one yet.
I've been thinking up lyrics.
I don't know why, but they're out there for the last season, but not this season. So then I just decided to watch Renegade instead. It got me fired up to give them a typical 2004 Dodge Ram 2500, meaning that the fenders and rocker panels are just rusted out and gone.
Yeah.
So this team's old, led by Aaron Rodgers, Cam Hayward, a bunch of other signings that are at the end of their career. Adam Thielen had a decent showing
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
right he
the other
did.
day. They're rusty, but that could be okay because some states this truck could pass inspection, like Ohio. But others it would fail miserably. So
Yep.
some opponents they can't compete. Some states they're illegal and just rely on the heavy-duty suspension of the 2500, grind out a win, maybe even let Aaron Rodgers in that old school Hemi still try to show that they can rip.
You mean helmet?
Yes. But it's too late in the season to buy replacement fenders and rocker panels, and this truck is going to run while it can, but inevitably this road trip is they're just going to have to drive through a state that has strict inspection laws, and they're going to get pulled over, and the truck will be impounded because the Steelers do not have a license to be in the big dance.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought you said you were nice to him. You really hit him with a zig.
I mean, they got power. That's about it.
I was by far.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was by far the nicest, and I got a news update. Lightning McQueen is coming.
Oh no.
Steelers are a Lightning McQueen. You talk about a veteran champion trying its damnedest to keep up with all the new superstars and hotness. Is that not the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I guess I was just thinking of speed. I was thrown off by the lightning speed, which they do not have. But if you're talking,
No, I'm talking about
the
veteran
yes.
presence.
Yeah, you nailed that. Yeah.
Like we got Aaron Rodgers on the team. We got all these guys that have been there, done that. And they're just trying their best to keep running, to try to keep up with all these teams that they really do not deserve to be playing against. But with that veteran presence, I think they got a chance to keep doing what they've been doing, finding a way to win, outsmarting these teams, and just making the best with what they got and ending up on top.
I gotta say, even though I'm like not the hardcore Steelers fan, I do love watching Aaron Rodgers play in his old age
great.
because he plays different than everybody else. It's
Way
so
different.
It's like he can randomly in the middle of the play. There's like 20 seconds left on the play clock. Like, hey, MVS, come here, and he's like drawing a play up on his hand.
Yeah.
He's like yelling at him, which way
over
there,
there.
pointing.
Then he gets pissed and he's screaming
so
at him.
pissed. Yeah, he's like an old school coach.
I love it.
Yeah. I love it. Then in the post-game interviews, he's always so chill.
Yeah, it is.
Perk.
He's always like, yeah, the helmets weren't working, so I figured I'd use a timeout because we need to score.
It's important, yeah.
And
Need a touchdown,
we didn't
down
need it
by 4.
We didn't need it later in the game. Luckily, we didn't need my helmet on the last drive, so yeah.
You guys noticed that once
He's
Aaron
genius.
Rodgers, I mean, outside of the Browns game, but once Aaron Rodgers hurt his wrist, he started playing better. The painkillers.
Yeah, and then the other day after he hurt his hand, he started playing better after that too. Got his hand crunched, and that's when he scored back-to-back touchdowns to
Here's
win the
some
game.
perk.
Yeah, probably. He was in his post-game interview. He was complimenting the helmet guy too.
No way.
He's like, no offense, like Derek or whatever. Nothing he could have done. He's great with the helmets, but they just Derek's probably the guy giving them the perk.
You guys just expect him to be mad at everybody. He's a nice fella. Okay,
I think he is. I mean, on the field, he's a different animal.
Well, yeah, he's a
I
competitor.
see him as like a Chick Hicks.
Oh.
Yeah, but he actually wins.
Yeah, that's true.
Chick doesn't win.
That's true.
I do love watching Rodgers, though. It's been fun.
That's great, yeah.
It's been hilarious.
All right, let's move on to the Houston Texans. They finished the season 12-5, regular season. Points scored, they were 16th. Passing offense, they were 20th. Rushing offense, they were 28th. Points allowed, 1st. Pass defense, 3rd. And run defense, 9th. Obviously, you can tell these guys are defensive heavy.
Yeah.
But I'm not relating that to mine at all. Because I just think this is a very well put together, well-rounded team. Obviously, they finished the season well. So I'm just going to say these guys, pretty short and quick, 2019-ish F-150 Raptor model. It's just all well put together. It's tough. It's fun. And, I mean, that toughness, I'm mainly talking about their defense, obviously, because, I mean, it shows it with the stats. But if you watch the Texans at all, these guys fly around and they lay the boom. They are one of the best defenses in the league, could be argued for the best. That's been proven all season, so that makes them tough. But there's a big but.
Okay.
If you know anything about the new Raptors, what's disappointing about them is they're still just a V6. They don't quite have that power that you would hope to have, like the Raptor R, the model with the big V8 in it. So they're just a V6, but they're still a Raptor. Very well-rounded, very well put together, tough and strong, and play a fun brand of football.
I'm similar. I'm also a Ford V6.
Ooh, okay.
But back in 1995, the Ford Ranger with the inline 6. Now, with his defense...
The Ranger didn't come with an inline 6.
Yeah, it did. The 300.
That's an F-150.
Oh, F-150.
Okay, all right.
F-150, yeah.
Sure.
So this defense is as reliable as they come. And just like this Ford F-150 with the inline 6, 300, this thing will just never die. And this offense more than likely won't make much power.
Sure.
And they can't win a drag race.
Sure.
But this defense and reliability has the opportunity to keep the team in the game, ranking second in turnover differential at plus 17.
Goodness.
And similar to the CRV, this old F-150 has four-wheel drive, can make it through anything, but it will not be fast. So this offense is going to have to find a way to generate some kind of points to beat other cars to the finish line, but it will never die.
Well,
I like it.
I am unsimilar to you guys. I was outside the box again, but if you guys have ever seen the video or meme of Kim Jong-un's car with all his bodyguards running beside it,
Oh, yeah.
that's this. That's the Texans. The car's moving slow, and it's not even that nice of a car, but it is clearly heavily armed thanks to his bodyguards, like Secret Service guys. The offense, meaning that the offense has only kind of recently started to pick it up and not even picked it up that much. They scored more than 23 points in just 3 games over their 9-game win streak. More than 23 points. It's not even that much. This is Steelers-level stuff here.
Whoa.
And also, this 9-game win streak entering the playoffs has been mostly because of the stellar defense. The defense has allowed 21 points or less in 7 of those 9 games. The offense did not put up great numbers this year. C.J. Stroud, he missed some time. Davis Mills came in and went 3-0 and passed for over 300 yards a game.
That's Davis Dougie Mills football.
Yeah, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Whew. It seems like they had some trouble to get going with their new offensive coordinator Nick Caley. And we saw Nico Collins. He missed some time as well. He had just over 1,100 yards. Dalton Schultz was their second leading receiver. He had 777 receiving yards. I had no idea that ever happened.
Wow.
Yeah. And just the rookie receivers that they were working with and an injured Christian Kirk, it seemed like they were kind of dysfunctional for most of the year. Offensive line wasn't the best either. We kind of knew that going in. They just threw, it was 8 different pizza slices into one pizza, except some was veggie. They got ranch on that one. They got there was buffalo sauce on another one. It was all.
They even got sardines on.
Yeah, there was sardines on it.
Goodness.
You open up the pizza box and it just stinks. It reeks. But that's kind of how this Texans team felt on offense. The defense is really what pulled them together, and but a 9-game win streak going into the playoffs is no joke. And I think that the bodyguards is what runs this team. Because the car is never going to go too fast to outrun the bodyguards.
True.
The offense is never going to beat anybody. It's going to be the defense just shooting people. Bodyguards shooting people. Defense making plays is what I meant.
The defense shooting people.
Yep. Makes sense. All right, moving to your AFC 6 seed, the Buffalo Bills. They finished the regular season 12-5. Points scored, they were 6th. Passing offense, they were 8th. Rushing offense, they were 2nd. Points allowed, they were 13th. Pass defense, they were 5th. And run defense, they were 31st.
Nice.
Kian, is this your Lightning McQueen?
No, but this is another funny one.
Okay.
The Bills are a funny car, like a funny drag car.
Right?
Yeah,
Funny car.
with the fiberglass body shaped like Josh Allen's head.
Okay.
But you flip up the body,
Yep.
and there's a new driver. It's James Cook.
Oh, it's cooking.
It's like Scooby-Doo when they pick up the mask.
Yeah. This team has been carried by Josh Allen since he rose to stardom in 2020. And that's what everyone will usually think of when they see this Bills team. But this season, I owe an apology poem to James Cook.
Oh, yes.
Here we go, baby.
Yes. Jimbo.
I owe a big apology to James Cook for thinking he was very mid. But his vision, acceleration, ability to book helped the Buffalo Bills avoid losing skids.
I like that one. I like that one better.
That was good.
That was
James
really
Cook impressed me this year. He led the NFL
yeah.
in rushing, and he's got some get up and go that I just hadn't seen any other years. And it seems like the Bills coaching staff started to trust him more, too. They gave him – this is the most touches that he's ever had. Also the most missed tackles forced that he's ever had. 62 missed tackles forced, 1,621 rushing yards.
Golly.
Explosive, sharp cuts, get up and go. They've just all impressed me this year. Finally, some nice, reliable, explosive help for Josh Allen in this offense. Defense remains mid as all can be. Mm-hmm. Gave up 200-plus rush yards 4 times this season. 4 different games they give up 200-plus rush yards. New defensive tackles, Deion Walker, T.J. Sanders, Jordan Phillips have all struggled mightily. Ed Oliver only played 3 games this year. He was playing really well in those 3 games and then left, got hurt. Mm-hmm. They've luckily, kind of surprisingly, gotten good play in the secondary. Christian Benford is quietly like a really great CB1 who nobody talks about. Maxwell Harrison came in once he recovered from his injury. He had some fantastic moments as a rookie, some big interceptions. Yeah. Teron Johnson in the slot proves reliable every year. Tre'Davious White, this was a pretty solid homecoming. He didn't have to play most times because, once Maxwell Harrison came back, they could kind of put him on the bench because he's old and not that great. But he did okay. Cole Bishop at safety has really improved, and even the Jordan Poyer homecoming at 35 was pretty nice. Yeah, he's 35 years old, came back to the Bills, but this team will get scored on, which is why they have to be a drag car. They're going to have to win shootouts when they play a better team, like they will in the playoffs. All the teams are good in the playoffs. But luckily, it shouldn't just be Josh Allen dragging the team behind him, because James Cook is cooking.
I'm going to go right down there in the same thought process with you. As far as drag cars go, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one, too. The Bills are the one and only, the legendary farm truck from Street Outlaws. You talk about big engine, big motor. You got Jimbo Cook and Josh Allen surrounded by lackluster parts and pieces. It looks pretty ugly, but man, that truck and that engine are going to hurt some feelings and have hurt some feelings already this season. But yeah, I love that one. It's just you got your little ball of, your little ball of power right there. Your power pumpers under the hood is Josh Allen and James Cook, and then the surrounding is, it's cool. I mean, it's a nice old C10 Chevy truck, but I mean, man, she's kind of beat up.
Yep.
Kind of rough.
Yep.
But man, she can.
She's been ran through.
She's been ran through, but she's a screamer, and she's if you aren't ready. She's going to hurt some feelings.
Yeah. So I'm kind of similar, but not really. So I think the Bills as a whole are a Porsche 911.
Okay.
Now, with this car being introduced in 1964, it seems like this sports car and this team have both been around forever, and they can just never be at the very top. They're always up there, but they can just never be at the top. This team and car have the offense, with Josh Allen driving. This thing can weave in and out of traffic, passing other cars in a hurry. But they aren't a very big car that can run others off the road when they need to.
Right.
And I think that's symbolic of this 31st ranked run defense. they're going to have to get ahead and stay ahead in the big games, because if not, the other team can just run all over them. They need to be focused on the windshield and get far enough ahead that they don't need to look in the rear view, because they can't rely on their defense.
Right.
And this car's been around a long time, like I said, has a lot of experience in the playoffs. They just need to be fast and explosive enough that the road trip doesn't come down to a shoving match at the finish line, because every single time it does, they always lose. So they need to get far enough ahead that they don't lose in the last seconds, because they aren't the bigger car. They can't trade paint to the finish line. They're going to lose that battle.
They're just hoping that all the bigger cars are out, which they are, that have been the most problematic so far this year for them.
Could be their year, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
And to wrap up the AFC, we got the Los Angeles Chargers finishing the regular season at 11-6 points scored. They were 17th passing offense. They were 19th rushing offense, 14th points allowed, 7th pass defense, 8th, and run defense. They were 18th. So I took these Chargers as Chargers are kind of confusing to me. You know all the parts and pieces. We got Justin Herbert. He had a very good year. Had some injuries in there too, but he had a very solid year. You, of course, got Mr. Harbaugh, the coach, Jim Harbaugh. Solid, tough-nosed, defensive guy that likes playing football.
Know what he likes.
I don't know what he likes, but I just know he likes hitting people and playing hard defense. So I couldn't give the Chargers super high praise, but I'm not going to poop on them because they're a solid team. They're in the playoffs. They are a 2007 F350. That's a one-ton for you fellas, but she's a V10 gasser, okay? Very strong and tough, a tried-and-true workhorse that gets the job done, but it won't do it as fast as some of its competitors. It ain't going to pull like a diesel, it doesn't have that oomph behind it to quite get there. And if it comes down to a race, seeing how fast you can get something done, like a scoring shootout, it just may not have that firepower to keep up. But is it going to get there? Yeah, it's going to get there. It's tough. They play tough football. They're led by a great coach, and they're just a very well put together team. But fighting some injuries now, and Justin Herbert he's probably going to play, but he's still slightly injured, I'm sure. He has a broken hand or whatever. And other injuries on the line and everything like that. They're going to be up against it, but they're put together well. But it's going to be a tough road trip for them.
Yeah, I'm glad Carson mentioned this with the Jaguars, because I happen to be thinking the same thing with the Chargers, and they are very similarly historically. Like, you chargered that up. You bumped away the game. Jaguars are the same way. So I went with the Chargers are a 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT.
Ooh, I like it, yeah.
Now, remember the year there in a minute. It looks like a regular Jeep Grand Cherokee until you look under the hood and see the high-performance V8 firepower potential for out on the track. 2019 is actually the year that Greg Roman helped the Ravens go 14-2. Obviously, that's not the record of the Chargers. But Lamar Jackson won his first MVP. 2 1,000-yard rushers in Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram. Mark Andrews' breakout year with 852 receiving yards. But we also need to remember that this is a Jeep, so anything could break and the whole thing just trash at any moment. And I'm trying to give high praise to the Chargers this year. I think that they're a sleeper in this playoffs. Sucks that they play the Patriots first round in Foxborough. That's going to suck. But I, again, am cautiously optimistic about this receiving core that Justin Herbert has last year. Last year in the playoffs, I was shitting on the Chargers. I was like, they can't go that far. They only have one weapon in Ladd McConkey, and that's what happened. They ran out of weapons. You can only rely on one receiver for so long. Steelers. But this year, they had 6 pass catchers over 600, or not 6, 4 pass catchers over 600 receiving yards. Ladd McConkey led the way with 789. Keenan Allen with 777. Nice. Lottery.
Yeah.
Not lottery.
Go to the casino.
Machines. Yeah. Quentin Johnston, 735. Yeah, how about that?
How about Quentin?
Oronde Gadsden, the second, the rookie tight end, 664 receiving yards. These are guys that I feel like I trust. I've seen, and even like Quentin Johnston, like I know that I can trust McConkey and Keenan Allen, but Quentin Johnston, after what he's done in his early NFL career, now he's made some big plays. Randomly, there's a blown coverage every other week where Quentin Johnston is just wide open down the sidelines, and I have heard almost nothing about him dropping balls this year.
No?
Dude grabs balls is what he does.
So hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm really impressed with the Chargers, what they have on offense. And I named all the Ravens stuff from whenever Greg Roman was there because I feel like they have better weapons than the Ravens even had. And that team was a great team. And now I believe in Omar and Hampton as well, running the ball. It helps that he has Kamani Vidal beside him, too. Those two have been great running the ball as of recently. And then the defense has just been really, really good. Like Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter, he's going to be a head coach one day. He knows how to coach up a defense, getting production out of like a 37-year-old Khalil Mack or something like that. The coverage is always fantastic. Dante Jackson had a career year this year on the Chargers after just sucking it up last year on the Steelers.
Yep.
But I think that this team is a sleeper. They just have to get past what I believe to be one of the best teams in the AFC so far in the Patriots. So we'll see.
Yeah.
This is definitely my most boring one. I don't really know how I feel about the Chargers, so I just kind of labeled them as a Toyota Corolla. They're just a team that, if you leave them alone, never really threaten them, I feel like come the end of the race, they could be there, and you wouldn't really be surprised. But because you knew they were capable all along. There's a middle-of-the-road team that nobody's really too concerned about. Nobody considers them a sports car, but they do show signs of good and bad, but neither really too drastic this year. And I think that this car can be good enough to win the road trip, like I said, but they would need a really good driver behind the wheel in Justin Herbert that shows what this car is capable of with a top-notch driver.
Yeah, and it should be mentioned that they've been without both of their starting offensive tackles for most of the year, and they've done all this. So all this that I've been speaking to with them being a sleeper is it's projection, it's potential that I'm seeing and what they put on the field so far this year, and maybe Justin Herbert finally takes a step forward in the playoffs and does something. But then again, it is the Chargers.
Yep. Moving over to the NFC, your number one seed, the Seattle Seahawks at 14-3 to finish regular season. Points scored this season, they were third. Passing offense, they were second. Rushing offense, 24th. Points allowed, they were second. Pass defense, second. Run defense, first. Shoo.
I'll get us started here.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks are a Tesla Cybertruck.
Okay, yep.
This team and truck both look amazing on paper. Ranked top 2 in almost every category mentioned. For the truck, 0 to 60 time of 2.6 seconds. Has a truck bed and off-road capabilities. But all this doesn't matter until it's tested, and the Seahawks and the Cybertruck have yet to really be tested when the lights are brightest. Regarding both the Seahawks and the Cybertruck, again, some people think that they are the real deal, and other people think that they're a joke. And it's going to take time for people to buy into these new Sam Darnold Seahawks, just like it's going to take time for people to buy into electric cars. I personally currently believe in neither, but it is very interesting to see what's going to happen for both and what they will lead to in the future. But both the Seahawks and Cybertrucks have shown why they're unbeatable and will win this road trip, but they've also both shown hiccups that are exploitable. So overall, I think the Seahawks are a top-notch team to watch and really to see if Sam Darnold can do it.
I almost went with that exact same vehicle. Wow. So I'm glad I didn't because you did a very good job with it. For me, I went something a little different again. I went with a modified, possibly heavily modified, 2014-ish Subaru WRX.
Ooh,
oh, the good years, you know. Boxer engine. You got a good turbo, got all the good noises. Great car. Good safety ratings. It's a Subaru, of course. Very fun to drive. All-wheel drive does get everywhere. But, the big but, when modded, it is only a matter of time before those head gaskets leave the chat. They're gone. They say goodbye in that boxer motor that's under the hood. Says goodbye, and those head gaskets are the one and only Sam Darnold. We don't know what's going to happen when he's under all of that boost pressure, man. We have no idea. In the past, it hasn't been great so far, but maybe he's built different this year. Maybe it's built stronger. Maybe we got somehow stronger ARP head studs holding those freaking things in there, and maybe they can go the distance. But it's been fun so far.
Let's take it and put it on the rails.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Bringing in the train. The Seahawks are the Polar Express. Doesn't have nothing to do with nothing to do with cold weather. I'm just talking we're talking about big train, nearly unstoppable force on the way to the North Pole, plowing through snow, drifting on the ice on a frozen lake as the ice is cracking and breaking, losing the brakes, going down a 90-degree roller coaster style downhill track, and then magically fixing them again, just in time, offering amazing hot cocoa service with song and dance. Only thing that stops this train is the stupid main character kid pulling the emergency brake. Well, that stupid kid is Sam Darnold. That's the only thing that stops the train. Almost the whole movie is the kid just yanking the emergency brake. Sam Darnold has walked into, yet again, another amazing team full of player and coach talent on both offense and defense. Can he manage to not freak out and screw it up this time? Because this team has been amazing. Clint Kubiak has been cooking as the offensive coordinator. They had Ken Walker run for 1,000 yards. Zach Charbonnet ran for 730. Jackson Smith-Njigba he could possibly be the offensive player of the year. He had a league-leading 1,793 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns on 119 receptions. He was amazing this year. The defense you laid it out before we started talking about all this. The defense is probably the best in the league, especially statistically. I think that Devon Witherspoon is the second coming of Jalen Ramsey. The way that this guy tackles from the cornerback position, he could get played anywhere. And same thing with Nick Emenwari. Came in. I didn't really like what we saw from him in college. Cody did. Cody saw it in him. I thought he was more of just like a downhill, basically linebacker. But Nick Emenwari's been covering tight ends like crazy and been playing some great ball. They're just an amazing team all around, from the linebackers to the D-line to the secondary. They are really, truly amazing, well coached by Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak. Truly the only thing that can mess this up is if Sam Darnold sees ghosts again. Oh. And the last freak out of Sam Darnold that we saw was in Week 18 of last year, a very important game for the Minnesota Vikings.
Against the Bears.
It was against the Lions, I think.
Yeah, Lions, not Bears.
And if they won, I think they would have got the 1 seed, but they got stuck with the 2, and then they lost in the first round. But in that Week 18 game, Sam Darnold just freaked out. He went like 18 of 39. He was throwing like 3 picks or something like that. It was a really bad game. And then the first round of the playoffs, it happened again. And that led to him coming to Seattle and Minnesota not bringing him back. But in Week 18 this year, also in an equally as an important game, they had Sam Darnold do as little as possible. They ran the ball for over 200 yards on the 49ers, stomped them on defense so that they only scored 3 points, and Sam Darnold didn't have to do a whole lot. So does that mean that based on what happened last year and what happened this year, do we have a Sam Darnold big crash out coming because we missed out on one in Week 18? Like, is he just saving it up, so now we got to double the size of crash out coming? Oof. Well, the thing is, they have another first round bye here. So does that mean that we saving up, pushing it back even further?
It's building.
He's feeling the pressure. He's like, oh, crap, we got a first-round bye. We don't have to play this week, but is that really a good thing? Am I going to forget how to play football? Am I going to forget how to throw? I don't know if I can trust Sam Darnold, because toward the end of the season, it really was just kind of their defense stepping up. They didn't stomp too many teams toward the end of the season. Obviously, beginning of the year, offense was absolutely cooking, and they were doing everything that they possibly could, but towards the end of the season, Sam Darnold kind of started to show some Sam Darnold-ness. Yeah. And that's a scary thing for a team that is playing with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. Not that scary for the defense playing against Sam Darnold.
Very true.
So I don't know what's going to happen. It's the Polar Express.
It's kind of the magic of Sam Darnold.
That's the shit that happens on the Polar Express.
All right, let's move into the Chicago Bears. They finished the regular season 11-6. The points scored, they were 9th. Passing offense, 10th. Rushing offense, 3rd. Points allowed, 23rd. Pass defense, 28th. And run defense, 29th.
Carson, go ahead, because you nailed this head coach hire.
I will, yeah. So I have the Chicago Bears as a Suzuki Hayabusa.
What the hell?
For those who don't know, that's a crotch rocket. An insanely fast crotch rocket. And I did that because this offense has shown it can put up points in a hurry. And while this new Ben Johnson offense is very powerful, it seems every game of theirs seems to get lucky with lots of turnovers from their defense. So I saw stats back this up, and I found that the Bears led the league in interceptions with 23, as well as turnover differential at plus 22. So for this team to win this road trip, they're going to have to go fast enough to keep up with the Corvettes and Teslas and whoever else is the fastest people in this race, which this bike is more than capable of. It could actually outrun those teams. But on a crotch rocket, this speed gets very sketchy, very quick. So in order for them to make it to the finish line alive, they're going to need they're going to need the luck to keep on coming on defense and keep Ben Johnson alive on this bike as he's weaving in and out of traffic.
Wow. Yep, very good.
I kind of think this team's kind of like a hot rod, but the body, a.k.a. the defense, is just falling apart. I went with the 1969 Dodge Charger. That's right.
Frick.
General Lee. With the engine still in great shape and running perfectly, but the body is rusted and wrecked. It's like one of the General Lees that they actually wrecked.
Yeah, they've jumped about 3 times.
Right, but the engine is fine.
Sure,
but
always will be.
Yeah, but the roof and everything is just caved in. But these guys, like, don't worry about it. That's patina, baby. Ben Johnson did prove in a big way that he can still create some of the best offense in the league, even in his first year on a new team. And this offense roars with firepower at quarterback and all the skill positions. We saw great years from DeAndre Swift, surprised the heck out of me, but hell yeah, baby. Kyle Monungai ran for 783 yards behind DeAndre Swift's 1,000. I need to slow down. Colston Loveland, toward the end of the year, really picked it up. He was great. God bless you.
Thank you.
Romo Dunze acted as their wide receiver 1 for a lot of the beginning of the season. Then DJ Moore, whenever they needed him, he made some big plays at the end here. Luther Burton got worked in more. Olamide Zaccheaus, for some reason, is on this team, but whenever he makes a catch, it's usually successful.
Yeah.
It was a very impressive year from the offense. The defense led them into a ton of shootouts where they got some lucky wins on crazy passes from Caleb Williams, which were very impressive. Caleb Williams had a lot of inconsistencies this year, but the great throws were great and the bad throws were bad.
Yep.
Like college.
Yes, just like college. And for the defense, all was bad. I mean, you could see there's no pass rush on this team. It's one thing that I have harped on the Bears for years now, that they need to address the pass rush other than Montez Sweat, who wasn't even that great this year because he has no help. So if you can't rush the passer, you're making your defender, your secondary guys play coverage a lot longer. And that's hard in the NFL whenever you got some freaks of nature on the other side against from you. Like if you're going up against the Cowboys and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, how do you cover them whenever you can't get to Dak Prescott? It's going to be a rough road for the Chicago Bears, and they're going to have to play the Packers in the first round again. And I think that they have all the firepower to do it offensively. It's just much like the Bills, they're going to have to win some shootouts.
Yeah, mine's much more boring. You guys did a great job with that. I couldn't really get a good one, but this one works. I went with the Mazda RX-8. The older ones that had the rotary engine, the Dorito thing spinning under the hood.
Baby.
Man, is it a fun and good car.
Dorito of death.
The Dorito of death, exactly. So as much fun as these cars are, you can rev these things high. They're powerful. They're lightweight. You just know. The back of your head here, the back of your little think box up here on top of your neck, there's going to be a time when it breaks. It's going to wear out. Those apex seals on those Dorito tips, they're going to wear out, and it's bound to happen. It's the way it is. And just when is it going to happen? I don't know if it's going to make this road trip because it's bound to come apart at some point.
Yeah.
Let's move on to your 3 seed in the NFC. The Philadelphia Eagles finishing the regular season 11-6. Points scored, they were 18th. Passing offense was 11th. Rushing offense was 23rd. Points allowed, they were 3rd. Pass defense was 6th, and their run defense was 19th. The Eagles here this year, they're still the Eagles.
They've been the Eagles.
Yeah, they're still the Eagles. So I like to compare them to a 2006 Ford F-250 6-liter diesel. Okay.
6.0, 6-flow.
Yep, let's think with me here, okay? Tried and true? Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will it get you there? Absolutely.
If it's deleted, yes.
Tough? Yeah, you betcha.
Oh, yeah.
Couple dents, scratches, rust spots? Yup.
Ain't no thing.
It occasionally tries to blow itself apart.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Year.
That's all I got to
Most
say.
times I drive it.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I mean, I think that wraps it up pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. I went with that the Eagles are a NASCAR, but they have Ricky Bobby trying to drive again after recovering from his huge crash. He flips out and goes running out. He strips his clothes off him because he thinks he's on fire. All the talent is there in that NASCAR, all the firepower that you need to win a race. But it's like we have to celebrate every time there's a step forward because the team seemingly forgets how to play good football at some point every single year. It's death, taxes, and the Philadelphia Eagles bickering with each other because somebody's not getting the ball or the offense. We only scored 14 points. It's so bad. All the talent is there, and it's just a matter of if or when it's going to click because it might not click because we saw in 2023, the year before they won the Super Bowl, it just didn't click, and they crashed out in the playoffs and lost to the Buccaneers.
It went boom.
The next year, it clicked,
Yep.
and they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
This year, it hasn't really clicked yet. I think some of that falls on Jalen Hurts. Some games, he's not the greatest passer. Most games, he's not the greatest passer. Now, I don't think the play calling is fantastic because this play caller, Kevin Patullo, I want to say.
Patullo.
Yeah, he was a Sirianni hire, and the stats have shown that every time Sirianni hires the offensive coordinator, it sucks. And every time Howie Roseman hires the offensive coordinator, like Kellen Moore, it's great. So then Kellen Moore leaves, and he's like, "All right, Sirianni, you just won a Super Bowl. You hire the offensive coordinator." He's like, "I'm gonna raise up my my Patullo. I'm gonna promote my Italian buddy here, who knows how to run the offense that I like to run, a shitty one."
Whoa.
and it's not gonna work all year, and that's what we've seen. But the Eagles' defense has been great as of late. As we know, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Reed Blankenship, and then Jalen Carter especially. He's kind of feels like the piece in the middle that if he's getting pressure, it makes everybody else better. Obviously, that's how it works. But
As long as he's not spitting on people.
as long as he's not spitting on people, it's you got to teach Ricky Bobby how to drive the NASCAR again, and you'll get championships. But do you have enough time to teach him? I don't know.
I have the Eagles as a Tesla Model 3.
Okay, yeah.
Now, we saw what the Eagles could do last year, and this team still has so much of that talent, and unfortunately for the Eagles probably, such a simple game plan that it seems like it could be a self-driving car. And it may be, but the autopilot function is still not foolproof. So, in the instance that the cameras are dirty or say there's a bump in the road, autopilot could lead to a crash. And last year, the Eagles were able to compete and win the road trip because they were on autopilot for the entire playoffs, just handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley until the very end when the Chiefs came, spray painted their cameras so the autopilot failed. And when they focused on shutting down the run. And at this point, Jalen Hurts put the car on manual driving mode and drove them across the finish line in the Super Bowl, leading the team in rushing and scoring 3 total touchdowns.
Whew. Just because he wins Super Bowl MVP doesn't mean he's a good quarterback. He had a good game. That's it.
I see the same outlook this year, but their autopilot has regressed, and now teams know to bring the spray paint, and unfortunately A.J. Brown brings the spray paint as well. Jalen Hurts is going to have to take matters into his own hands and show what these electric cars are really capable of, assuming that there's charging stations along the way.
Good point.
If we get frustrated watching the Steelers, can you imagine how Eagles fans feel?
Oh, my gosh.
I'd be
least they've won a
pissing
Super
on the
Bowl.
Eagles stadium every week or something.
At least they've won a Super Bowl recently.
They have won a Super Bowl recently, but the team doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts misses wide open passes, and there are some games where he forgets that he's a 6'3", 230-pound guy who could run.
Jalen Hurts is 6'3".
Maybe 6'2". I don't know, but he has rushing ability, and there are some games where he's like, "Oh, I can run," and he runs, and there are other games where he just he forgets that he can do that, and the offense is stuck. It's stuck locked. There's no unlocking of the offense. Yeah. I don't know.
They're just on autopilot. They don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And whenever everybody's selling out to stop the run this year with Saquon Barkley, and he's probably just tired from last year too. He hasn't gotten hurt though.
That's what I was just gonna say. You freaking guys!
I need an apology poem to say.
You do need an apology. You do too.
I'm sorry. Yes. I do.
Now he wasn't great, but golly.
I'll work on it. But anyways, whenever you rely on Jalen Hurts, you see what happens this year. It wasn't fantastic, but they still won the division because the division isn't fantastic.
Yep.
There's a reason Philadelphia has to grease their light poles.
Yeah.
Because their team is just so aggravating.
Yeah.
It's so aggravating.
They eat poop.
And their basketball team, Joel Embiid. The process never completed.
The process is still processing.
Yeah.
They've got is the Flyers to depend on, I guess.
I'm excited for this
And
next
the
one,
Sixers.
baby.
And the Phillies.
The Phillies. Yeah, the Phillies can't do it either.
And Bryce Harper's just an aggravating guy.
The Phillies always get so close, too.
Yeah, speaking of Bryce,
I'm excited for this.
I'll let you start after this. The Carolina Panthers with your 4 seed at a whopping 8-9 to win their division. Points scored, 27th. Passing offense, 27th. Rushing offense, 16th. Points allowed, 14th. Pass defense, 21st. And run defense, 21st. You're 4 seed in the NFC for the playoffs.
There's always one of these teams in the playoffs every year who doesn't deserve to be there, but somebody has to win the division, and they get home field advantage in this first round. They actually lost in Week 18 to the Buccaneers, but thanks to the Falcons, who actually also finished 8-9, there were 3 teams that finished atop this division at 8-9. Just the tiebreakers work it out. It was the Panthers, which I was perfectly happy with. That's fine. I love watching Bryce Young for some reason. So this team is a UTV or side-by-side, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how it's widely around here.
Buggy in this neck of the woods.
Okay, sure, yeah. It's rolling down a hill after attempting a hill climb. Nobody knows if it's going to land on its tires or on its roof at any given moment, but whatever side it lands on, when it stops rolling, it's going to attempt that hill climb again to begin the unpredictable sequence again. This team, the teams the Panthers beat and lost to, have to be mentioned because it's absolutely insane and makes no sense. Yeah. They won games against the Packers, pretty darn good team. The Rams, who they play in this round, which that's an awesome story.
It is.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, who put up a fight every single week with a much better offense than the Panthers have, and then completely shut out the Falcons and scored an easy 30 points on them.
Yeah.
They lost games to the Cardinals, the Saints twice, and then got blown out by the Bills by 31 points. And then the next week is when they beat the Packers.
Yeah.
I don't understand this team at all, and I love it. Yeah. I love that this is a playoff team because in the playoffs, anything can happen, and they're playing against a team that they already beat, which is insane. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of analysis besides that. I'm just excited because you read the stats, the ranks of this team. They haven't been good on offense. Every once in a while, Bryce Young throws a 300-yard game where he looks like a god.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the next game he throws for 101 and has 3 picks. I don't know what happens, but I love it.
Yep, that's the Panthers.
I've got a good car for that.
Okay, let's hear it.
An Amphicar Model 770.
I think
the
I know
ones
what
like
you're talking
boats,
about.
the convertible
Yes.
car. Yeah, it looks like
this is an amphibious car only produced from 1961 to 1968, and only 3,878 models were produced.
Rare.
This is the Panthers.
Yeah,
they are rare.
Extremely rare.
Yeah.
And rare team as well. Yeah. Made the playoffs in some of the most odd circumstances.
Sure.
Like Ian said, beat the best teams in the league. Lost to the worst. But man, is this team one to watch.
Yeah.
Just like the car, they don't really have any chances to win the road trip. But in the circumstances that all bridges across the Mississippi collapse, or who knows what else happens, this car can boat across rivers or oceans or lakes or whatever it needs to if all the other cars somehow shit the bed.
Yeah.
It brings something to the table that other teams do not. Impressively impractical but unpredictable gameplay.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
This team does not belong here. They aren't even 500, but they're still here. And these cars aren't in production, but they still have value too. So look for an early exit, but not too closely because they are unpredictable.
Yeah, I was right in the same mindset of little to zero analysis, and this chances of them making this road trip, let's imagine it here. You got a rusty 1999 two-wheel drive Chevrolet S10 towing about a, let's say, 36-foot toy hauler through the Rocky Mountains in the snow.
Useless.
So
Love it.
it could probably do it, and boy, would it be entertaining to watch. But there is zero chance, like little to zero chance, little to none. So let's move on to their opponent that Keane just mentioned. The LA Rams with the 5th seed. They finished the regular season 12-5. Points scored first in the league. Passing offense was 3rd. Rushing offense was 8th. Points allowed was 8th. Pass defense 11th. And run defense, they were 15th. So for this one, I went with a newer-ish model, like F-150 Platinum version. You got that classic reliable F-150 legacy.
Hot damn!
Anywho.
Wish I had a button to press that. Say that.
Anywho, you got your classic reliable F-150 legacy, top selling truck for ever basically, and that's your Matthew Stafford. He's been around, he knows the game, he's obviously still very good, but you got your fancy bells and whistles, your receivers and your defense around you too. You got your Puka Nakuas, you got that stellar defense, and Byron Young on the other side, and all the other guys. Jared Verse, that absolute dog, second-year guy. So, yeah, it's as simple as that for me. It's just a nice vehicle that has a very good chance of making it with some excitement and nice little add-ons to help get you there.
I'll go before Keen because mine's very similar, and I can only imagine what he chalked up. But I have the LA Rams as a C6 Corvette. Yes. Just a good old reliable sports car that's been around and doing it a long time with Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, Devontae Adams. They all know how to do it, and they've done it well. Now, I didn't pick a C8 Corvette because with Matt Stafford, they're still a traditional sports car.
Sure, yeah.
I see a C8 as more of like a supercar, and that'd be like a Lamar Jackson team.
Definitely. Yep.
But this car is just about as reliable as it comes for a sports car and has a very successful history. Matt Stafford has this offense shaped up with weapons around him. Defense holds their own, making this team a perfect blend, just like the older C6 Corvette is. I think all factors considered, this Corvette would be the favorite to win the road trip. But it is an older car that has some miles on it that requires some monitoring throughout the road trip, so don't count them as the winner too early.
Love it.
Mine isn't that far out there. I went with a rally car. Now, rally car races, they go for many days and miles, and at many points you can think it's going great and you're cruising, then something breaks and you have to stop, put on your mechanic hat, then recover and try to gain speed and confidence yet again. Matt Stafford has been a fighter for his entire NFL career. He's deserving of an MVP, but after that terrible Week 18 game, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
He's never officially earned one. And he actually stayed healthy all year, which he said in a press conference, he's like, if you would have told me that I felt this great at this point in the season, I thought you'd be lying. So he's even surprised that he stayed this healthy with his back or neck issues, my neck, my back. Can't remember which. It's one of those.
All of the above. Spinal.
Yeah. It's one of those.
It's probably Tempur-Pedic that saved him.
You're right. Yeah,
he gets good sleep.
Yep.
The team at many points this season were coined to be the Super Bowl favorites, looking like the most dominant, the balanced, consistent team. Then out of nowhere, huge losses to the Panthers, the Seahawks in overtime, and then the Falcons in prime time to finish out the regular season
Yikes.
on a 3-3 stretch that really took some of the wind out of their sails. But don't forget that this is a highly powered car with a driver who's a fighter, even in the biggest moments, being Matt Stafford. And they have fighters all around the team. Kyron Williams has played great this year, along with Blake Corum behind him. So maybe I should give him a...
He needs a poem.
I don't know.
He hasn't earned it yet.
Yeah, he hasn't overtaken Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, while Corum did look good, Kyron Williams also looked good. So it wasn't an only Kyron Williams, or only Corum thing.
It was an offense thing.
Yes. Puka Nacua, he could maybe win Offensive Player of the Year. He's a fighter. This team is full of fighters. I think in rally cars, there is a co-pilot. Not co-pilot.
Yeah, for the longer races, yeah.
Yes.
Co-driver.
Yes.
Well, yeah, navigator.
Yes, I don't know. It's a guy with the maps.
Yeah.
This team is just full of fighters, and even though they've lost these games, I would still think that they're kind of some Super Bowl favorites. But they have to go against a really tough team in the first round that might knock them out. Or they just beat the shit out of them, which is probably what's going to happen. But the Rams team, watch out for them because these guys have been through the long stretches of the season and they know how to handle themselves, and they will keep fighting no matter what happens.
Corvette versus Amphicar, first round.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Bryce Young's going to have to take it to the water.
Yeah, he is. I don't think Charlotte's by water at all.
Yeah.
There's no beach.
They can get there. There's a lake somewhere.
3 hours from the beach or something.
It's closer than other places.
I guess so. The Amphicar's going to take forever to get to the beach.
It's going to take till the fourth quarter.
It's like 45 miles an hour or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to our number 6 NFC ranked team, the San Francisco 49ers. They finished the season 12-5. Also, the points scored, they were 10th. Passing offense was 7th. Rushing offense was 30th. Points allowed was 12th. Pass defense 24th. And run defense was 17th.
I'll go first here. So I had the Rams as a Corvette. I think that labels the 49ers as a Mustang. So they've had many models throughout the years, some better than others, but they're all Kyle Shanahan Mustangs. They've been around forever. They're always good. But in more recent times, they've just not been as good as the Corvettes and the Teslas and all these newer models that are adapting the same newer offense. This team is in the race, and they've looked good this year, but they're going to need some big-time plays from their big-time players to continue to advance round by round. They're trying new things with the Mustang Mach-E, and they brought back the GT500, but they still need to see if those models can step up to the other contenders level instead of continuing to rely on the 49er and Ford name to keep their reputation good.
Not bad. I went with, this is a very specific car, but you'll get the idea. The Niners to me are like a Mercedes SL 600. So that's like a luxury car, but it's the sporty version, the SL model. Great and sporty luxury car when it worked with that big V12 engine. But hold up. Man, did that V12 have some reliability issues, and it really hurt. And, of course, it's a Mercedes, so parts are incredibly expensive and hard to get. So that's kind of like the Niners this year. They've been cursed with injuries and reliability issues from their players and all their hot shots. Not all of them, but a lot of them have, they've been waiting on parts, let's say. And they, unfortunately, are very expensive pieces. And they've really been cursed by that this year. But they're still a Mercedes, still fancy, still Kyle Shanahan, still been playing good, still a very comfortable, sporty, luxury car.
It's true.
But they've just had some bad luck with some pieces on that squad.
They sure have, and that's why I coined them an ambulance with a drag car engine. I was going to go with hospital bed with rocket boosters, but they have too many injured players to fit on one hospital bed. So I had to go with an ambulance.
Seems like a hospital bus.
Yeah, they really do, because this team has lost Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams at certain points, Ricky Pearsall for certain points, Brock Purdy for certain points. Christian McCaffrey's actually stayed healtty. But there's more injuries because we got Mike Hill Williams, Brandon Ayuk has seemingly left the team. Yeah. Jacob Cowing. Dang it.
George Kittle's getting his oil changed.
Yeah, George Kittle. Yeah, so this team, I don't know how they do it. Offense keeps clicking because that's what Kyle Shanahan knows. Defense has been sucking ass. And they can't pressure the quarterback, and that's what we saw in the Week 18 game against the Seahawks. And that matters. That game does matter because, for one thing, it was for the number one seed. Another thing, those are the caliber of team you're going to be playing in this playoffs, especially in the NFC. It looks like it's going to be, I don't want to say a crapshoot, but it's like a good crapshoot. It's like shooting each other, like firepower.
Boom.
It's like big, strong monkeys throwing poop at each other.
Yes,
like,
it really is.
They're throwing poop, but, man, they can really whip it.
And it hurts. It even welts. Yeah, it hurts. So this team is good. They're limping into here. They've been limping most of the season. They've just kind of pulled out a 12-5 record because I think Kyle Shanahan is in his bag and baby, and they just been able to outscore teams because again they don't have a pass rush. So we'll see if the ambulance can make it all the way on this road trip. But I can't imagine their fuel efficiency is that good, and they're running out of space on it.
Tatum Bethune might be in there as well.
Tatum Bethune has missed time as well. And then also their other best pass rusher who hasn't really done much since Nick Bosa went out, but Bryce Huff. So it's been a rough season for the 49ers, and I'm surprised they got to 12-5.
Yeah, me too. Let's wrap up the NFC here with the Green Bay Packers bringing in your 7th seed. They finished the regular season 9-7-1. Points scored, they were 13th. Passing offense was 4th. Rushing offense, 22nd. Points allowed was 11th. Pass defense was 7th. And run defense was 12th.
This is another team that's been pretty injured, especially as of late. I went with, they are a Toyota Supra with PVC pipes for all the tubing and important lines running throughout the engine, donut spare tires in place of all 4 factory tires, and a gradual leak in the power steering line. It's still a drivable sports car, but it's a lot different than when we started the year with all factory parts. Similar to the 49ers, in that major injuries have piled up this season. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, left guard Aaron Banks, right tackle Zach Tom have all missed time. Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, the center Elgin Jenkins, I never know how to say his name. Yeah. Devontae Wyatt and Nate Hobbs are all done for the year. So we've seen guys like Malik Willis play quite a bit. Emmanuel, I'm blanking on his name.
Wilson.
Emmanuel Wilson playing running back. Luckily, they have a deep wide receiver core. And they're bringing it. They just brought in Trayvon Diggs. He just played his first game with the team last week, and they're still running with Keyshawn Nixon as their CB1. The defense has definitely taken a hit since Micah Parsons went down, and they're trying to add pieces to fix that last minute. Again, feels a lot like the 49ers. I don't really know what's going to happen because we got pretty injured teams. They said that the NFL season is a war of attrition. It's who can stay the healthiest the longest with the best players. And like we saw last year, the Eagles going into the Super Bowl had like no injuries, and it was crazy. The Packers and the 49ers are basically the opposite of that. So they are still sports cars who know how to make offense. It's just that they are like highly powered pieces, but the pieces are kind of broken or like muffled. Yeah. They got mufflers on their mufflers.
That's tough. That's a lot of restriction.
Yeah, it's a lot of restriction.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I almost went with the Super too, but I'm in the same vein here.
I went with the Toyota because Toyota-thon just ended yesterday. So now Jordan Love is probably going to play like shit if he wasn't playing.
Dang it. I went with a well-used Nissan GTR R35, which is the newer GTRs. Driven by a reckless teenager.
All
right,
Very
baby.
fast, solid, and fun car. All-wheel drive, sports car, almost supercar, some may call it. But with too much either added power or abuse, it just tries to make itself come apart and takes a lot of damage. So, yeah, this Packers team has won and been good and been explosive. But, yeah, it's just been... They've taken some abuse this year. They've taken some shots, and it may not have the reliability that it had during the regular season, but that is TBD.
Yeah, I apologize because I've been going very electric car heavy today, but they've all been fitting. So the Packers are a 2023 Tesla Model S Plaid.
Oh, those are
Now,
fast.
this model is top of the line.
Yep.
0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds.
Wow.
Over 1,000
Holy crap.
Yeah, over 1,000 horsepower.
Oh my gosh. This would kill somebody.
Yeah, and this was the Packers not too long ago. Offense was rolling hot. Defense with Micah Parsons was looking incredible. But I don't know how in touch everybody is with the electric car world, but these electric cars have been losing their value fast.
Oh, yeah.
So this one's top of the line 2023 model has now roughly lost 60% of its value.
Yep.
Micah Parsons out for the year, Tucker Kraft out for the year, Nate Hobbs out for the year, Jordan Love coming off injury, Josh Jacobs banged up, Warren and tattered receiver and cornerback rooms. But this once top-of-the-line car still has some value and should be monitored. It's just got a lot of miles on it that has taken a toll. The batteries might need replaced soon. No one really wants to buy into it because it's lost so much value. Some younger players are going to have to step up, I think, and make plays for this team and play at the level that these other pieces once were for them to compete.
I like it.
Yeah.
That wraps it up. Episode 102.
Super Bowl picks.
Oh,
who's winning
frick.
the whole dance, baby? Because I'm gonna stick with my one from the beginning of the year. I gotta stick Buffalo Bills. I think that funny car, with all the power they have on offense, well, mainly it's kind of like a pride thing because they made it this far. I can't go against the Bills now, but I do think that Josh Allen, he has no Mahomes to go up against, and that's always been a big thing. It's been basically Mahomes that's knocked him out almost every single year. Maybe there was a Lamar Jackson year in there too, but he's not in there either.
Nope.
So he's going up against the likes of Trevor Lawrence and like a C.J. Stroud, maybe an Aaron Rodgers or something. Drake May. Which it helps that they've played them multiple times and kind of know what one of the best teams in the AFC looks like. But I just have to stick with the Bills. I think that the Bills win it all. I hope. I'd like to be right on one of these.
This is tough. For me, I think just kind of scanning teams and thinking about it and how they've played, I do believe that the Super Bowl rings will be taken home by an AFC team.
Wow.
I have to agree with you there. But, man, I don't know. This is tough. I'd really like Josh Allen to win it with the Bills. I think that the time is now.
That was your preseason pick with me, too.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can go past that one. Like, I think I have to take that one, too, because I just think when push comes to shove, they got Josh Allen, along with James Cook, who's been playing incredible this year.
Experience matters in the big
Experience
games.
does matter. I think John Cena style, the time is now for the Buffalo Bills, and I am going to take Josh Allen and Jimbo Cook and those boys to bring one home to the Buffalonians, brother.
Buffalonians, I love that.
I just want to start off by saying I think this is going to be my favorite and the most exciting playoffs that I can ever remember.
It's big.
Because the 1, 2, and 3 seed in the AFC, Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, and Jacksonville Jaguars. What were the odds on that coming into the start of the year?
They could all be frauds.
And then in the NFC, the 1 seed is the Seahawks, and the 2 seed is the Bears.
Unreal.
What were the odds on that one?
Unreal.
Panthers in the playoffs. There's a lot of young, exciting first-year teams here that it's going to be super exciting to see how they do under their bright moments, under their bright lights, and I think that does bode well for the Bills because none of the AFC powerhouses are all gone. They're the only ones standing for this season. But I think you guys said it well. Experience here is going to beat out all the inexperienced teams. And I think that's why the Rams are going to be the Super Bowl winner. Matthew Stafford and this experienced team with Sean McVay has almost a first-round bye, depending on what version of Panthers they get. And then after that, I think that they have all the experience, the skill. They've shown this year they can beat anybody, keep it close with anybody. And I think that Matt Stafford wins the Super Bowl MVP, and I think that this is a great note for him to retire on.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a very fun playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, catch it coming up. Playoffs are starting soon. And, so thank you guys for watching. We are happy to be back and making you guys an episode. We hope you enjoyed our horribly funny, hopefully, takes. And, let us know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, comment, please. We like to react and communicate with you fellas and fellettes out there.
Nice.
So, thank you.
Apology poems coming soon.
Yes, and haikus.
I have some poems coming.
You need a haiku.
I'll stick to haikus.
You stick to
I'll be
haikus.
the haiku guy. Don't worry.
Goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do haikus have to rhyme? I think they should.
I thought haikus did not.
That doesn't.
What are the poems that are like 3 lines?
That's
haiku.
Okay.
5, 7, 5. I'll make. They're good. They call me the haiku hottest.
Wow.
Hottest?
Yes.
Yeah, because you had to do the alliteration thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So look forward to those. We appreciate you guys watching, and have a good week of football, and we'll catch you on the next one.